Yeah, I'm here. I'm just trying. No.
Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. And welcome to yet another episode of Tech Talk with Judy and Tricia. Tricia, it is amazing. We've done 15 episodes of this.
Well, they will
How
let
are you
me.
feeling about this?
I'm super excited. It feels like yesterday.
You
Remember,
know,
because
yeah,
and today I was just yesterday I was just saying, oh God, it's been you all the while because sometimes you feel overwhelmed. Sometimes you feel like, okay, can I meet up with this week? And then you see we just keep going and keep going. And thanks to the audience because they are actually the reasons we are here, and we don't take you guys. We don't take it for granted. Thank you for sticking with Tech Talk with Judy and Trisha, and thank you, my amazing host, for being a wonderful, wonderful woman. Thank you. Thank you. So,
thank
guys,
you.
good to have you guys here yet again. 15th episode. I'm so happy.
Yay. And we just need to know that we're actually talking to people. So if you're here and you're in the audience, if you're joining from Instagram, from LinkedIn, from YouTube, can we just get a hi? Can we get a hello? Can we know where you're calling us or where you're joining us from? As usual, our super audience, Roma, is here and he's saying, I could receive your transmission only now. I suppose it's a bit of a lag. Yeah, I guess as much. And that is why I wanted everyone to, just let us know that you're here. Because even when we're starting the intro, I didn't hear any sound. So I hope there's no technical glitch. Every technical glitch is arrested. So yeah. And can you hear me,
To check
everyone?
to very sure that there's no glitch. Because I
Okay.
see that the guest speaker also. I don't know if she can hear us.
Yeah, Gift Star, can you hear us? Because I don't know, I cannot just see anything. And you're on mute if you can hear us, Gift Star. And while we're waiting for Gift Star to respond, Roman is saying, hello, Patricia, this is for you. He's saying, hello, I hope you're here to stay. And it is nice to see you.
Roma, I know you
You need
missed
to
me
give them an
last
apology. They deserve an apology
week.
from you.
Roma, I know you missed me last week. I missed everyone. Like my host actually knew what happened to me. It was a mess. I really don't want to talk about it because I was actually looking for the last episode, and then when it didn't come, I'm like, oh my goodness, I missed you guys so much, and I promise you, I will never go 1 week without showing my face here. I am here. You people are the reason I'm here. So how do I go away? I love you guys. Roma, thank you.
We're holding you to that promise. Yeah, yeah, Gift Star. Hi, Gift Star. Oh, we've
Okay.
lost her again.
Is moving from her net from her probably from her laptop to her phone or something. I think it's network.
Yeah, I
My
think it's
go
network
ahead.
issues. Yeah. And yeah, we've got Dutoye, hope I didn't murder your name, Damilare, saying, hope, hello, I just found out about this program for the first time, joining from Ilorin. Hello, how is Ilorin today? And yeah, if you're joining us, let us know where you're joining us from. Duntoye, Damilare, I think I will just stick with Damilare. Um, Glad to have you on the show. I hope you know, join us for more episode. And if you're watching from LinkedIn, you can always go to our YouTube channel. I'll pin the link to our YouTube channel, or you can see it across the banner so you can watch the previous episode. They have been actually very, very insightful, and I'm sure you don't want to miss that. So, Gift Star, if you can hear us or if you're good to talk, can you just say hello? Uh-oh.
Hello. So,
I can see the like she's talking, but um, if you can hear us, there's one of your device that is on mute. Can you please unmute it? Okay. All right. So I think we'll just carry on. And while she tries to sort out technical glitch. But yeah, it's great to have everyone here once again. And the program for today is tech. Oh, sorry. I thought I heard Giftstar say something. Giftstar, did you say something? If you can hear us, you're actually on mute. So if you can hear us, I'll just advise that you unmute yourself while we carry on with the show. But while we're waiting for you to come on, we're just going to introduce the show for today, and we're just going to talk a little about Gift Style while she tries to sort out internet. So today's episode is actually about tech, time, and sanity, mastering work-life balance in the digital world. And our guest speaker for today is no other than Gift Star. Gift Star is a work-life bliss coach, and she's able to guide people on how to actually achieve working and, you know, uh, being a worker and being
It's
a human being, whether you're a mom, you're a daughter, whoever you are, being able to balance both of them in a work environment, especially when you're working tech. Because the way tech jobs are these days, it's like most of the time we work remotely, and sometimes, especially for me as a newbie, I had that experience. I couldn't actually balance it, and that's why it's a topic very dear to my heart. And we just hope that Giftstar is able to come in and throw a lot of light on it. Oh, she's here! Yeah. So yeah, I'll just allow you introduce yourself and carry on from there.
All right. Good evening, everyone. And I hope we had a great day. Can I be here?
Yes, you are. We can hear you.
All right. So I'm sorry about the delay. I think my laptop, the video aspect of the laptop was not showing up. So I had to use my phone to connect. All right. So you've already introduced me. My name is Gift Nkiruka Joseph. And like you said, I am a professional who is actually passionate about helping CEOs, founders, individuals to achieve a work-life bliss. Okay, so you are going to get to know about my story as I get started. But in the meantime, I'm going to get started right away. All right, so today's topic, can I get started, Judy, right? Can I?
Yes, you can carry on. Yeah,
Okay.
the floor is
All
all
right.
yours.
So all right, thank you. So today's event, we are going to be talking about mastering work-life balance in a digital world. And we know that we cannot
Gift.
talk about
I'm
digital
so
world without,
interrupt. Sorry,
is
can I
the echo
interrupt?
coming from me?
Can I interrupt you? Sorry. I think there's a little bit of noise at the background, or so I don't know if it's me or you're using two devices. Maybe one can be
Oh,
muted so I can hear you. Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. Hi, Ronke. Judy, you might want to go on while she sorts that out.
Yeah. Okay, so I'll just carry on hailing my audience because you're the reason why we are here. So if you don't care, Mama, thank you for joining us. We
Thank you,
really
Ma.
appreciate your support. She's also one of our super audience. Thank you very much. I think we should have
We love
something for our super audience. Can you hear me?
you. Yes, I can.
Oh,
We
okay.
we we always have to give out something every week because we appreciate you guys. You guys are the
Yeah.
reasons we're here, regardless. And thank you, Suleiman. Okay, thank you. We've got our guest. So thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, can you hear me now? Is it echoing?
Yeah, just carry
Is it
on,
okay?
carry on. Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much. Okay, so I was talking about we cannot talk about a digital world without talking about tech. So we can't talk about digital and we are not talking about tech. And for us to navigate through tech, we have to ensure that our time, which is actually irrevocable, is factored in. And we cannot also navigate through the world of tech without us being mentally healthy. That's we have to talk about our sanity. So this evening, this event is going to guide not just CEOs and founders, also remote workers, entrepreneurs, to ensure that we understand what work-life balance is in this our digital world. Okay, before I proceed, I have to ask a simple question. So, and I want us to use the comment section as we are, having this interaction. So, the first question I have to ask is to our audience: what is the first thing that you check early in the morning when you wake up, and what is the last thing that you check before you go to bed? So, I'm going to give you an option. Is it your phone? Is it your laptop? What is that first thing that you check immediately you wake up from sleep? Some of us, we even forget to thank the creator of the universe, the one that gave us life. Voila, we are in our laptop, we are in our phones, checking what is the latest email, you understand? So, just how many of us, I also want to ask a question. Okay, so how many of us have asked ourselves just one more email, and that one more email, you realize that it's already midnight, you get? So just be answering this in the comment section. So as you are answering that, I have to tell you about who Gift Star Joseph is, my story. So today I made a post on LinkedIn. I hope I'm being heard, right, Judy?
Yes, you are. Yes.
So
Yeah.
today I made a post on LinkedIn and I talked about my story. So professionally, I'm a nursing practitioner. So I studied nursing from one of the universities in Nigeria. And I noticed, because throughout my profession, I have worked with high profile clients and worked in a high profile clinic. But one of the common observation I got to understand when these clients visit the facility, because many of them are chief executive officers, founders, entrepreneurs, business owners. So one of the common things that I found out, that this particular set or unique people, because when we talk about chief executive officer, everybody is a chief executive officer of her own. The one that owns a saloon is a chief executive officer. The one that works from home, without anybody supervising her, is a chief executive officer, is an entrepreneur, is a business owner. So we should not misinterpret it when I talk about chief executive officer, because chief executive officers, founders, are individuals that we meet on our day to day. So one of the common things I observe is that these chief executive officers have a common stress related illness. So one of the common stress related illness, like I said in my post today, is what hypertension. So that's what we know as high blood pressure, cardiovascular disease, heart attack, stroke, anxiety and depression, burnout syndrome, sleep disorders, like some of them have insomnia, apnea, and even restless sleep. Some of them also have gastrointestinal issues like ulcers, acid reflux. I know you might be thinking, how does this concern? I'm going to be showing you the relationship of all this. So now, like I said, please a minute. So, like I said, these are the common illnesses that is being associated with this particular set of people. And one of the things that we observe were the causes were, you know, before a sickness or a disease can be manifested in the body physically, I'm explaining as a health practitioner, there are some factors that will cause that sickness to manifest in your body. And the higher percentage of most of these sicknesses are caused by chronic stress. And this chronic stress can be triggered by, making high decision or high stake decision making, high stake responsibility, handling high stake responsibility, and even financial pressure. Most of this can be caused by lack of sleep due to long working hours. So these executives or remote workers like you and I, so because we work from home, sometimes, we work long hours, and also due to also frequent travel. We also observe that most of them, they have poor nutrition, they have poor dieting, because even this afternoon I have okay, let me say I have a presentation this afternoon, and I just took bread and tea this morning, and inside my tummy I was so hungry, because I'm this type of person. I make my food and I preserve it in the fridge, but I was so hungry. But just to go and make that rice and combine it with stew, I was so focused on my work that even my tummy have to start singing a song before I had to go and make that lunch for myself. So these are some of the things we experience as remote workers. So we have this poor dieting because we focus on our work. We want to deliver that task at that timeline, and before you know it, this can affect our immune system. So one of the things we also observe that causes this stress related, because we are doing diagnosis, so that we understand where these problems are coming from. Because I can't just come and dive in and tell you these are the things that can give you work-life bliss or work-life balance without you identifying what are the causes of this particular issue before we can now talk about solution. Because it's when you identify the issue that you can now give a tailored solution to that particular issue. So that's why I'm taking my time to explain what these issues are. So another factor that causes these stress related issues, which is not just basically for chief executive officers, but also for remote workers, is that we experience this lack of exercise due to our sedentary lifestyle. We are working from home, so we are always on our laptop. There is no time to go out there, to go and exercise and keep fit. So these are one of the factors. So poor work-life balance, leading to unhealthy coping mechanisms. So most of us as remote workers, chief executive officers, we have tasks piled, and because of that, we have to keep ourselves awake, even when sleep is knocking, because sleep is a prerequisite. Sleep and rest is a prerequisite thing that God has created to rejuvenate our body. So when we deny our body of sleep by using caffeine to ensure that we stay longer, this can also affect our system. So we see ourselves, taking alcohol, smoking, just to ensure that, we are strong enough to deliver that task. So these are the factors. I can go on and on, but let me just mention a few before I continue. So another thing is not having clear work-life boundaries. So we have to have clear work-life boundaries. Whether you are working from home, working from office, you have to have that boundary. So which one of the things I'm going to be doing tonight is to, communicate to us how we can, draw those boundaries, so that even if you are working from home, you know that once it is this time, or once I'm focused in this aspect, whether it's work or life, there is a clear boundary between work and life. Do you get that? So another thing is that these remote workers and chief executive officer, like I said, they work long hours. They work long hours, even beyond their body elasticity. We all know that everybody has an elastic limit. So the required hours for an individual to sleep is 6 to 8 hours, and we see so many people, and they tell you they sleep 3 hours every day. That if you sleep more than 3 hours, you are lazy. You are harming your body, because you are predisposing your body to, a weakened immune system that will be susceptible for, sickness and disease. So these are the causes. I will not want to, exhaust all the causes of, can you hear me?
We
Yes,
can.
absolutely. We can hear you. I was actually taking those. This is my pen
Yeah.
and my paper here,
Yeah,
and you did a lot of
yeah.
justice
So
to it.
I wanted to even tell the audience, please, this is an opportunity to write down, because you might think you are consuming all with your brain. You don't know that you might not be consuming all. All right. So let me
Yeah.
continue. So these are the things that causes this stress related, illnesses. Like I said, irregular eating habits. There are some people that they skip their meals just because they are focused on a project, or they are in a high stake meeting. Some also eat their meals so fast. This can cause indigestion. So that's where you see all these gastrointestinal, issues. So some of these causes are chronic anxiety, like you have a presentation, you have an interview, you are so anxious, so these are the things that can cause this in that can cause this stress related illness. So why does this actually matters? Why are we talking about these, causes? The reason why we are talking about this is that you and I, the executives, the remote workers, we sacrifice our time, we sacrifice our resources, we sacrifice our health and relationships to the growth of our brand, to the growth of our company. But at the end, we end up with deteriorating health. We end up with, our well-being deteriorated, and our relationship. If you can even notice, statistics show that most of the chief executive officers and founders, many of them have a high rate of divorce rate, or a high rate of divorce, because most of them, they are so concentrated into their work. They don't even have time for family, for their relationships, and this can cause relationship issues. So why does this matters again? Because most times we are unaware of the risks of work life, imbalance. So the only time we are aware is when we start experiencing major health events. That's when we start, understanding this work life balance or work life
Yeah,
bliss. I like talking about
yeah,
work life bliss. I
yes.
will, I will
It's
tell you the
actually
reason
be
why I
bliss.
talk about
Yeah.
work life bliss.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I'm going to cut you off
So
short there because there's something you actually said
yeah,
that I would like you to throw more light on, and it's about creating
okay.
boundaries. So we can see all of these, evils, I'll use evils in quotes, that this,
Yeah.
being able to create a bliss between work and life has caused. How are we able to create these boundaries, as CEOs, as remote workers? How are we able to create these boundaries so it doesn't even affect us? It doesn't affect our relationships. It doesn't affect, our work and our relationships with the other people.
Okay, so I was about coming to that, but I will answer that immediately. So first of all, how to create boundaries is that first of all, I and you, we have to define, first of all, define what success is to us in our own terms. Because your
Mm.
definition of success is the beginning of stating the boundary. So when I and you define success, like what is my definition of success? Because society has actually, defined success as a hustle for us. If you are not hustling with constant productivity, you are not successful. You understand? But success should not be always about hustling or constant productivity. Like success is personal. You understand? So somebody might say success is having a lot of money in the bank account. Another person might look at success as having a lot of children. Somebody else can look at success as, having, a good health and well-being, because there are some people that define success as having a lot of money in the bank account and they don't have their health. You understand? So how to do this is that first of all, you have to identify what truly matters to you. You understand? So what truly matters to me? Is it what truly matters to Judy? Is it what really matters to Tricia? So like me, mine might be health, mine might be my relationships, mine might be my personal growth, mine might be my freedom. So when you have written this down, you identify your three personal values. So mine might be my family, it might be the impact I'm making in society, it might be my creativity. Then I can now align these goals. I can now align my work goals with these values. Because you know why I say, because most times we talk about work-life balance. The life in the work, the life in the work-life balance is always the disadvantage aspect. The work is always the king, the life is always the queen, because we can integrate work into life, but most times people find it difficult to integrate life into work. But the ideal thing is that work should not compete with life, it should complement life. So life should be the king, work should be the queen. Do you get
Yeah,
that?
yeah, I really do get that and I understand that, but I just want to just throw this in here. I think why we are making work the king is because in the society we live in right now, there is so much bill to be paid. We have so much bills to pay. And if you don't work, you don't eat. So um I'm just trying to put this out there, yeah, but I totally agree with you. The life should be the king, and the work should come secondary. If we are able to, reach that point where we say, my life is the king, my health is the king, you know, we are able to we're able to thrive in work life bliss, harmony, or whatever we call it. But carry on, gift star. This is so informative.
Okay, okay. So notwithstanding that the society, like I said, has defined success to be having money in the bank account, there's this saying I normally say that people know this saying attributed to me. It goes like this: if success comes at the cost of your health, your relationship, then why is it called success? If success comes at the cost of your relationship, your health, who will you share the success with? So, in as much as work is very, very important, that we have to work to put food in the table to eat, but we should not make work the king in the sense that we don't have boundaries, we don't draw the line. So this evening now you ask a question: how are we going to draw the boundaries? So number one is that, for example, if you are a remote worker and you are working from home, first of all, I will advise you, because now I'm talking to remote workers, I will advise that you have a an apportion place or a place in your house where it is called your workplace. Do you understand? So if there is a place where you call your workplace, that means your bedroom should not be your workplace, because if your bedroom is your workplace, you are not going to have that work-life balance, because you must always be with your laptop at every point in time. But if you have a particular section in your house where you call your office, where you do everything concerning work, so that when you just sign off from that place, you know that you are out of your work environment. And that particular place, you also have your laptop kept. So that means you are not going to your bedroom or any part of the house with your laptop, because once you go with your laptop, there is this tendency that you will bring in work when it's time for life. Do you get that? So another thing I have to also say is that some other people that try to balance this work life, what they actually do is that they have a work phone and they have their own personal phone. You understand? So once it's time for work, they activate their work phone. They separate their work phone from, so that once they sign off, once they clock off from work, there is no temptation to look at the email. There is no, this temptation to look at what is coming from work. So another thing, if you don't have, these both phones, you can also turn off notification, anything concerning work. Another thing is, people treat you the way you present yourself. So you should communicate your clear boundaries to the people that you are working with. Once it's 7 p.m., I have signed out from work. Whether it's a client, you should talk it from the first, from the time you are being contracted to do that job. So once it's seven, that does not mean that when there are emergencies, I cannot respond. But when that emergency, start becoming frequent, it becomes a cause of concern. You put up a touching post yesterday, and I had to send you a DM because I know that most times people are being affected with giving priority to work. But from your own case, your own is that you give priority to work, and no, you give priority to your life,
Yes,
and your
yeah.
life now came to your work. You understand? So the same boundaries we are talking about in the work is also the same boundaries we should talk about in life. So once it's time for us that are mothers, for us that are ladies, you should communicate these clear boundaries in your home. Mommy is working around this time. So around this time, the children go to your room, or the help, you are taking charge of the activity. And that is another reason why most times we should also learn how to outsource and delegate as mothers. Outsourcing is not only just work. It also concerns, things at home. So if you are because we are emphasizing on those that work from home. So if you are working from home, you should communicate these clear boundaries. Everybody should know. Like, if I'm doing a presentation, my children know that it's time for presentation. Mommy is doing something, and all of them go to the room. As small as they are, they understand that. Do you get that? So when you communicate these boundaries, once is that time for you to work, you focus on your work. You block your time and ensure that you deliver. The same thing when it comes to also, work also. So this is the balance we have when it comes to work and life. So let me still
Okay.
continue.
Go ahead, give star. I'm sorry. We need to sell our market because I don't want my host to push me out to work. So we need to speak
I
to
can
our
hear
audience.
you.
Interesting one. I could go on and on listening to you because I've been taking down notes. I have a very poor habit with eating. So I'm so concerned with this one. And time management. Judy can testify to that one because sometimes she has to plan my day for me. Anyways, audience, if you're watching this, this is live from Tech Talk with Judy and Tricia. And it is brought to you strictly from Transition to Tech Academy. They're on YouTube. We're also on Instagram. We're on Facebook. And then we're on LinkedIn. My host is Judy Erasiepe. She is the founder of this academy. But trust me, that is just by design. We're here to take your transition story. We're here to groom you from non-tech background to tech. So if you know you're trying to source or trying to find your feet in tech, or you're a bit confused, you need mentoring, you can actually reach out to her, or you reach out to me also. You can send me a DM, or you send us a DM on LinkedIn, or you send Transition to Tech Academy a DM on Instagram, on Facebook, also on YouTube. Roll backwards and watch some of the exciting episodes we've had. Today, we're bringing you our practitioner, medical practitioner. She's here to tell us how to time. And I'm sure if you're hearing me, you bet me that today is quite an interesting one. I'm so grateful. You
Very.
don't need to ask her. All you need to say is give star, and then she takes it up. So that's transition to tech. I'm sorry, my background is a bit noisy, so I'll have to go back to you again, give star.
Yeah, but before we go to gift star, I would just like to ask this question, born out of the last discussion you had. And audience, if you have got any questions, gift star is here to answer all of that. We'll go through the comments afterwards. But I just have this particular question, and it's how about the fact that you have communicated boundaries? Like I said to you yesterday when we are chatting, I actually communicated these boundaries, or this request to my boss, and that boundary is not respected. And you have to keep the job. You have to keep the job. How are you gonna deal with that?
Okay, so you've communicated your boundaries, but the person does not respect your boundaries. I, I don't know how to go about it, but I will tell you from my own experience. Like, I'm someone that values my life as much as I value my work. So, because I'm a human being and I can't be working 24 hours every day. And that is the reason why, to every contract, I don't know whether you had a contract agreement with your supervisor or the person that hired you. That particular contract states your working hours. So if, for example, she exceeds that working hours. I know that most times, one of the issues that we have as professionals is that we think that the ability to say no is an unpleasant thing. You understand? So, for example, my value is my health, first of all, my freedom. So if I know that I work extra hours and it's affecting my health, and she knows that anytime she calls me on odd hours, I deliver. So I have to communicate these boundaries. I have to talk to her, because everybody that is a CEO or that is managing a team understand that work-life balance or work-life integration is one of the most important things for professionals, even in the US, in the UK. So anywhere in the world. So anybody that is subjecting you not to enjoy your work, not to enjoy your life when you are done with your working hours, I feel that job is not actually worth it, to be honest. Because we can't say because we are trying to retain a job and our health, is deteriorating, we are not having rest. No, it's going to affect us. It's going to affect our relationship. Like I said, what is the cost of success when at the end, you don't enjoy? I have a colleague last month that died. She died. What happened? She's always awake every night. She's always, and she's asthmatic. She never communicated this to the supervisors. She's always saying yes. Any task that's been given to her, she will say yes. She will say, even to the extent that when it was so worsened, the thing was so worse, she was told to go to the hospital just because she wants to look good. She does not want to feel people tagging her as not capable. And she's one of the senior management. So she had to accept everything. And she started having this, somebody that was okay. She started having attack after sending a mail by 1 a.m. By 1:30 she was dead. So how can you now say, because you are just trying to make money? And this thing, it was observed. It was observed because I work in the early hours, as in the day, as a health practitioner, and I work remotely in the evening. So it was observed that in our work environment, because we work in a fast-paced environment where that the work pressure is so much. We observed that within this year, we've lost 4 or 5 colleagues. So it was a cause of concern. You get, it was a
You
cause of
telling me
concern.
this year that is barely 4 months, you've lost 5 colleagues?
I'm telling you,
Oh my God.
in different regions of our
Okay.
people have died, not from, like, we have, like, I mean, in Nigeria at Uyo, one person died at Uyo, one person died at Calabar, one person died at Abuja. You understand? So we
Mm.
observed that what caused the other one went to play football and dropped dead. He is hypertensive. He didn't know about it and he was not doing anything about it. Do you understand? So at the end, what is the cost of, and the funniest, I made a post about that. The funniest thing is that the one that died with asthmatic attack, that sent a mail by 1 o'clock, and by 1:30 she's dead. They just paid us our salary that day. So was she able to enjoy her salary? It's all gone. Her cars, everything gone. So my own is that if you value your health, if you value your freedom, as far as you perform the duty according to the assigned time, discussed in the contract, any other thing you are doing is overtime, and it should even be paid for. It should even be paid for. Nobody should subject you to the time. So if you are even going to do it, because we try to look good, and at the end it's to the detriment of our health. So this is what I will encourage anybody. Let's stick to the contract. When you are discussing any contract agreement with anybody, state to the person, respectfully, that you value your life in as much as you value your work. You understand? So if the time is 8 hours job, that you will appreciate once it's 8 hours, that you should also focus on other activities that will increase your productivity. Because the thing is that if we don't balance, this our life, it will affect our productivity. We will not be
Yeah.
efficient. You know that most times how I get to unleash is when I play with my children, when I gist with my spouse. You see me the next day, I am refreshed, I'm rejuvenated. You understand? But when I'm always focused on work, there's what is called elasticity limit. You reach to that limit and you will break. So
Mm.
please, I think this should be communicated from the first instant when we are taking, when we are signing our agreement, so that our supervisors. So, like I said, when you told me that, I told you no, it's not your fault, it's her fault. If you can respect the time in which you people have agreed in that contract, then any other thing she's subjecting to you, I think is called modern day slavery. That is what
Yeah,
is called.
absolutely. Yeah, and I quite agree with you. And while communication, I think I've said it here before, I want to tell you immediately I'm getting a new role. I'll tell you I have to go take my kids from school and it's 3 o'clock. So I don't mind taking my
Is it?
break at that time. Yes. And
Yeah.
for the fact that she did that, so it was when she knew I would be off to go for school runs and she's telling me we're having a meeting, share your screen. How am I going to share my screen when I'm having a meeting, right? I think there are some bosses, even if you communicate, there are some bosses I will say from hell that just wants to make your life a living hell. And they may or they may not be doing it on purpose. Maybe she doesn't even have kids, so she does not understand what it is. I spoke to someone and she was like, oh, if you had met me 5 years ago, you would have hated me as a boss because I did not even understand what it is to have kids and do the school runs and all of that. So that is a story for another day. Bosses from hell, that is a story for another. But I'm just even very curious. How would you handle toxicity in the workplace?
Okay, so can
Es-
I add something
Right?
before you ask me? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Going to ask a question, yeah.
Can you hear me?
Um,
Yes, I
can
can hear you,
Okay, I
Keisha.
said before you
okay,
proceed, you have to communicate who you are as an individual, as a woman, before you start up any room. If you notice in my LinkedIn profile, if you notice after all the portfolios I wrote about me, I wrote intentional mom, so that you know that I'm a mom. You
Yeah.
understand? So I am an intentional mom. I'm not a busy mom that is pushed by work. So with that, if you are hiring me, you know that I'm a mom and not just a mom. I am an intentional mom. So that
Mm.
you know that I also have kids to take care of. So for that boss that you have your children to pick up and she's trying to bring up, like you said, she might not understand, but it's very, very important that you communicate who you are before you start a contract, so that you can also tell the person, I will wish to take my break around this time. The reason is that I will try to go and get my children, but whatever I'm doing, whether I'm a mom, it does not affect the timing of the job. So once you communicate, the person respect you. You present yourself the way you want people to treat you. So once you present yourself like that, nobody is going to subject you to that.
Let's hope
uh,
so. Trisha, you're gonna say.
much. While you were talking, one of the mentors here in the Western world was telling me that when he got his role, he realized that he was just working and working. They will give him leave. He'll be like, is it not just this easy? But why am I going to leave? At some
Teacher,
point,
I
he
can't hear you well.
oh, really? Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can
Okay.
hear you.
I was saying that there was a mentor, or there's a mentor I had, an older person who was saying that when he got into the oil and gas over here in the Western world, so he kept working and working. They would give him time off, his leave, he didn't use it. They had to summon him in the office. That is everything okay? Why are you not? Why are you overworking? You close at 5. You're supposed to go and leave. You're not taking your. Is everything okay? He said at that point he knew that okay, this is not Nigeria where I want to pack everything and do. So once it's that 4:30 that he has to put, he's signing off. That's by the way. Before we continue with this, seriously, I could go on listening to you, but please, Judy, I would like you to put the hashtag for our audience to see because I think we're supposed to run a raffle today. So, audience, if you're on the live stream, kindly put the hashtag hashtag tech talk hashtag tech talk so you can fall in for the draw.
I
Thank
really don't okay, so yeah, I'm going to put the hashtag tech talk, and yeah, I was going to just throw some light on what you said about
you can go ahead.
people not taking leave. So Gista, I'm going to hijack this from you a bit. But one thing I noticed, yeah, and like you said, we may not realize this is a very important topic, and we may even have you come over to, finish it because we're very conscious of the time here. But sometimes we just want to, the idea we've been given or the notion we've been given is that you have to work while you're young, because when you're old, you want to relax and enjoy yourself. So like Tricia said, in the Western world we see a lot of people who, taking up more job, taking up more roles. There was a time I was a contract staff, and the money I was being paid per day was huge. And I could not imagine myself taking a day off, because if I'm taking a day off, I am losing big sum of money, right? And I'm talking about hundreds of pounds in that particular day if I take that day off. And it's yeah, we need to be able to balance work, we need to be able to balance life and all of that. But sometimes can you just give us an advice? How are we going to be able to handle all of this? Say something to us to help us to, say, okay, this job, let me put it aside for now, while I be able to focus on my health, my family, my kids. They're growing up, they're not seeing me. I'm working, working, working. How are we going to be able to do that?
Okay, so that's when I talk about.
Have we lost you? Can't hear
Okay,
you.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. So that's when I talk about work-life bliss. Like I think there's something Tricia said, and I have to you start from there before I can answer your question. I work for an international company as a health practitioner. Before now, when you want to take your leave, it's as if you are committing a crime. Like they will ask you, why are you going on leave? You even have to come and do presentation, the reason why you took your leave. But when, like I said, is an event, people are unaware of work-life balance until they see the aftermath. So when we had to lose 4 colleagues in 1 year, the same people that subject us to why do you have to go on leave have to tell us that if you don't go on leave, you will be queried. Your supervisor will be queried, and at the end, even the HMO, the health insurance, that if you don't go for your annual check, that the money that is being paid, you understand, you will be the one that will use your personal money. So you see, life or society think or present themselves as if they care, but they don't actually care. Because seriously, most times they prioritize work over people's health, over people's well-being. So that is where work-life bliss comes in. So that's why, based on what you asked now, Judy, how can you? So how you can do this is that if you are someone that if you miss out a day, something is going to happen based on the pay and every other thing. That's where bliss comes in. I'm sorry about that. That's where bliss comes in. So how do you create work-life bliss? How you create work-life bliss? What is work-life bliss? Is integrating life as you work. Those things that makes you happy as you work, integrate them as you work. Don't be so focused on work, 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 work. If you are working and you love, playing music, play that music. If you are working and you have to make a call to talk to your husband because speaking to him makes you happy and you laugh a little while, do that. You understand? If you have to work and your child has a graduation ceremony and you have to just tell your boss, I have to go and come back, do it. Anything that can integrate. Even if you notice that most of these, will I say, I wanted to say reasonable, but that's not the right word. Most of these, international organizations, they are bringing life to work because they know that this is actually a very important. Google now has a way of, doing things for their employees. It integrates life. There are some even workplace you have to, if you want to go for a massage, you go and they massage you and you come back. You understand? So other international organization are, but if your own company does not have that, try to on your own do those things, put in those things that will make you happy as you work. You understand? So whatever it is that is your hobby that you like doing, just integrate it so that you can refresh. But once you are done, that is where balance comes. Because what is balance? Balance is striking, or splitting work from life. You understand? Like I said, balance is a journey, it's not a destination. So every day we are becoming better. So how you can do is that once you are home, you are home. So you focus on life. Are you getting me? So once you are home, like now you are done with your work, rather than when you go back, you are carrying laptop, you are doing official work at home, you have to communicate to your boss or to your employer that once I am home, I am home. Like it's not like saying it the way I'm saying it bluntly, you understand?
Yeah.
Say, just communicate that I am a mother, I have to take care of my children, I have to, give the little attention I have to my kids, so that they know that once you reach home, they are not going to reach out to you concerning any other thing. So there's no hard and fast rule to this, you understand? But the main thing is that as you work, ensure that your life is not affected. Your your work should complement your life and not compete with your life. I will still say it
I've
again.
got one more thing to say because you're trying to round up and I don't want this to round up. So in like 2 minutes, to switch tables around, right? So we'll be talking about work taking preeminent over life. Now, when you're working remotely, it is very easy for you to slip up and forget about work and do life. So you're at home. Let me go and cook. I'm cooking jollof rice. I'm supposed to be working, and you leave the work. How are you able to deal with that? Trisha is laughing, but it's the truth. We see a lot of these videos online. Sometimes you right? I've done it, you're doing life and you're living work. Work is suffering. What word have you got for us there in that aspect?
There is no other words than setting clear boundaries.
Yeah.
There is no other word. It's just making that decision, making up your mind that once is work, it is work. Like I said, once is like I'm doing this presentation, I have like how many children in the house? But are you seeing any of them? Until I'm done, nobody comes out. So anything that I can make myself to be conducive, like before you start work, I don't know what is the time you start work. Like somebody like me that works both um, on site and remotely. What I do is that I don't cook every day. I cook during the weekends and I cook as if I'm a restaurant woman, as in like I batch cook. I cook my soup. It's not even one soup. I cook soups. I cook stew. I cook everything that is cookable so that during the week I can just, if I'm hungry, I can just boil rice, put rice on fire, and in my refrigerator, I have so many things I can take that. So I would not want to be, because I understand my nature of work. You understand? So if I work in the day and still come back, I work remotely. So I have to ensure that my work is not affected. So clear boundaries and putting systems in place. So
Mm.
if you are going to be working, you should have an adequate sleep. If you have an adequate sleep in the night, there is a little tendency for you to sleep in the day. You understand? And also, most of us, we also have this, standing table. Some people have sitting table, some people have standing table. So if you observe that you are feeling sleepy, that's when you can switch over to your standing table. You understand? So that the sleep can go out. You get that? So if you notice that sitting down is going to cause you to sleep. So there are so many strategies. There are people that when they are working, they put soft music, you understand, to ensure. Some people also chew gum, like me. If I want to chase sleep now, I will chew gum. So what works for me might not work for you. But whatever that will make you, to be efficient and to ensure that you deliver your work as a remote worker, ensure you put those systems in place. That is the
Yeah.
answer to the question.
Absolutely. I agree with you. And also the point you made about having a secluded place in your house as your office, try and make it as officey as possible. I'm just going to add it here that sometimes as remote workers, you may just feel that, oh, you're a remote work, you're working from home, right? You just wear your pajamas. I think one thing that has really helped me to be able to, have that clear cut picture that I am working is I dress up. Not like as if I'm going to work, but actually dress up. It's not like I'm going to wear suits and all of that, but I actually dress up, and it just gives me a sense of, I'm working and I'm able to put work and life and, juggle it. We're still trying to juggle. I would not say we're perfect yet, but with all this
Yeah.
insight you've given, I've been actually taking notes. I've got my notebook here. So I've been actually taking notes. I don't know if you can see it, and very, very insightful. I wish we had more time. And like I said, we may invite you over again because this has been very insightful. So, guest, audience, sorry, if you found this insightful, watch out for part two. Gift Star is coming. We can put the hashtag Gift Star is coming again, right? Because she
Coming
has
back.
so much to deliver. I even felt bad I had to cut her short sometimes because there was so much to deliver. Gift Star is coming again for a part two. We're going to have her here again, and I hope she honors our invitation when she comes. And thank you very much for your insight. So, if you're here, I've got just two people who are put in Tech Talk, hashtag Tech Talk. We didn't announce that there was going to be any giveaway this particular week, but yes, we can give away to
That's we
our
just
super audience. We've
I'm
got
sorry.
super audience so far.
The
Oh,
value we
your
gave,
voice is
we give away.
No, the
yeah, that's
giveaway,
okay.
if we didn't announce it, sure that's why most people are not, and so we have
Okay.
to be quicker.
Okay.
Obviously, we
Okay.
want to carry people along so that people get to actually enjoy the benefit of watching it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I've got the hashtag TikTok pinned to the screen here. I'm just going to give it 1 minute to be able to put hashtag TikTok so that for the giveaway. The giveaway price this time around is voucher, Amazon voucher, depending on where you are, and also airtime, depending on where you are and depending on the network you use. We're going to be giving that. So just put the hashtag TikTok and yeah, we'll spin the wheel and see who wins. So while we're waiting for people to put the hashtag TikTok, I would go through the comments. Okay, so Roman has said, work-life balance is kind of hard for me since I'm a workaholic and I tend very often to overwork. Do you want to just say one or two words about that, Gift Star?
Okay. So, like I said, when I started, I said, what is your personal value? There are some people that one of their personal value is work. They love working. So if that is one of the person's personal value, so this is what makes him fulfill. That's what makes him fulfill. I know of one of my bosses in the office. What makes him fulfilled is always working. So if it's one of his personal value, then go ahead and work. But even as you are working, understand that you have life. That's the most important thing. We are not saying that working is a crime, but understand that you have life so that you can live to enjoy what you are working for. Because at the
Yeah.
end, always 1 minute silence. 1 minute, like my colleague, is only
Oh.
1 minute silence, and that is it. Everybody forgot about her, and that her particular position will be advertised and will be filled immediately. So, as you are
Mm,
working, ensure to factor that somebody needs to enjoy this. First of all, you need to enjoy your money, and then your loved ones need to enjoy it with you. So it's not a
Yeah.
crime if you love working.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think we answered the question, what's the first thing you look at when you wake up? I answered here my phone. I wouldn't lie to you. I'm not going to lie. I think the phone actually makes me wake up because if I don't use the phone, I can go right back to sleep. So it's my phone. And yeah, and Damilare here said it's his phone or laptop. So I think this day, age, and time we have been conditioned to, always scroll through the phone. It can distract us a lot, especially from work. Yeah. So while we are trying to, balance life and work and all of that, sometimes we just find ourselves being distracted with the phone. There are lots of apps here, Instagram, even LinkedIn is distracting. We should be
Very
able to,
distracting. Very,
yeah,
especially if you have high engagement, you want to, answer everybody. Very distracting. So that's why I
yeah.
talked about having a separate phone. Like if you don't have that
Mm,
discipline, if you don't have that discipline to say, I will not go to Instagram, I will not go to LinkedIn, please have a separate phone so that when you just clock off from work, you are focused, with it. And most times there's another side of it also is that most times when we are working, we get distracted with all those things also. It's
mm,
also for you to, like me, I have a phone where once I'm working, I turn it off. That's where my Instagram, my LinkedIn, and every other, because I know I'm somehow driven by social media, sort of. I'm still training
mm,
myself. So
yeah.
once I'm done with work, I can put it on. So, but if you have that discipline that you say, I am not going to look at this, then please just have one phone. But somebody like me that's still in that training, I have another phone that I switch off once it's time for work, and I put it on when once I'm done.
I think Gift Star, you should start a challenge for us. We're all going to join how to, switch off your phone while you're working. I think, yeah, having a separate phone is very important. I've thought about it once that I will have a separate phone. That phone is only for emergencies. So my spouse, my kids, they have that number. The school has
Number,
the number. Then the other phone that all my friends and family have, I'll switch it off while I'm at work. So nobody just
yeah,
calls me during work hours and,
true,
distract. Very
true,
important. So
true.
challenge us. We are going to join your challenge to be able to focus and be disciplined at work. I mentioned here sometimes we concentrate on work and forget food. A lot of times, even Trisha admitted to to forgetting food. Roman here says, I drink a lot of ginger tea, so I have no problems with immune system. Great. I try to get off coffee because I was drinking it a lot. Do you want to throw any light on that, Gift Star?
So
Or
can I ask her if she has ulcer? Does she have ulcer? She says she takes a lot of ginger tea, so she does not have problem with immune system. I don't know, but
Like he,
it's actually
one of,
is
you
a
can
he.
go on.
I'm saying the person is a he.
Okay, okay. So one of the thing, like I said, is not bad if you are staying up. You have, like somebody like me, I build my immune system with fruits. So if ginger works for the person, it's fine. But when I don't like ginger tea is when you are taking it on an empty stomach, it can cause ulcer. So if is what is, working for her, boosting her immune system, then fine. Ginger is a very nice, a nice food ingredient that helps to boost the immune system. Some also even take garlic. So if it works for you, fine. But the main thing is that ensure that your immune system is not deteriorating. So if it works for you, please, it's fine. Go ahead and take it.
yeah, Roman are just giving us expo here. He says he tries to get up very early, like 4:30 in the morning to have breakfast. And since practicing at home, I do most of the work 4 to 5 hours in the morning. So I have most of the day free. I think that is a fabulous approach to doing things. So yeah, do what you have to
So
do. And
during the course of this presentation, I wanted to say that when you are taking up job and contracts, take up job and contracts at your peak level. Like what he just said now. If his peak level is early hours of the morning, then take up job. that makes you work at your peak level. If you know your peak level is in the evening and you go and take up job that your peak level is not in the morning, that's when you start having issues at your workplace. So if it works for him, fine. But for him to wake up 4:30, that means he has to sleep earlier for him to wake up that early. So if it works for him,
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah, we are conscious of the time, but I just want to say peak level. Most of the time, jobs are 9 to 5 kind of jobs. So at your peak level is maybe 8 o'clock in the evening. How are you able to? Well, I think we'll discuss that when we have you when we have you over next time. Now, saying hello everyone. It's good to be here watching from Abuja, Nigeria. How is Abuja, Nigeria today? Education say learning to say no to my boss is my take home. I agree with you. Yeah, we should be able to say no.
Don't go and just say no, having concrete excuse.
No, it's like setting boundaries. I think I get what he means, like setting boundaries. Yeah. Yeah. Also, to be bold to communicate your boundaries, like you see, he has extended further and stick to it. You can't please your boss to the detriment of your health and life. I totally agree. And of course, he has said, thank you, Gift
Gift
Star.
that.
That's such a beautiful name, Gift Star. Yeah.
Thank you.
So we've got TikTok, and we've got thank you for your insight. Lawrence is saying that. Yeah. Kaiwa is saying exactly. I do the same. I dress up because it gets better when you treat it like a business and you have a feeling you'll be sacked if you do not do it. That is a very good way to stay focused when you're working
Yeah,
remotely. And yeah, Tech Talk,
yeah.
Tech Talk. Hello, everyone. So I think we've got just three people saying Tech
So
Talk. Cora, do you want to put the Tech Talk? Um, okay, a woman that just said he uses ginger tea as a replacement for coffee. I think that is a great idea. It has the same energizing properties. Wow, I didn't know that. Wow, I think
yeah,
that's something. Yeah, okay, that's a good one. I've always tried to stay off caffeine, and knowing that ginger tea has the same replacement, I think that's what I'll start doing right now. So, fantastic tip you've given us here, Roman. Thank you very much. So, we are going to go over to our giveaway. I'm going to share my screen right now. Permit me to share my screen, everyone. Um, can everyone see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Yeah, all right, good. So we've got just three people here. I'm going to give 30 seconds for anyone who wants to enter in for the tech talk to do so. If not, we'll just do the 3-1. So if you want to enter in for the draw, you have to drop a comment with the hashtag tech talk. You can see it over here, hashtag tech talk. 30 seconds. So in another 25 seconds, I will be clicking on the draw button. And 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, let's go. Or you have to drop a comment with a hashtag tech talk. Yay, Glorify is one again. Yeah, so thank you for entering in Bolatife. I think you've won with us before. We should have your details and we are going to credit you with the data, MTN data, I think. Yeah, we're going to do that and congratulations. Oh, Diko, you put it a little bit too late, so you didn't enter in for the draw. Well, congratulations, congratulations, congratulations. We're just going to round up here. So, Gift Star, thank you very much. We really appreciate you. I think she's gone off. So sorry it took a little bit of time, 10 minutes extra. Apologies once more. But thank you very much for coming on board. We thoroughly enjoyed ourselves today. Have you got any last words for us before we go? You're on mute. Oh, you're on mute. If you can hear me, you're on mute. Okay, yeah.
can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I
So
can.
I will still say what I'm known for. Your success should not come at the cost of your health and relationships. You need to share your success with your loved ones, because when you are not healthy and when you don't have those loved ones, those relationships, then success is not sweet. So ensure that whatever you are doing, you are incorporating work into life and not life into work, because work is meant to complement life and not to compete with life. Thank you very much, Judy and Tricia, for having me.
Yeah, that was very powerful. I think we've lost Trisha. Uh, Trisha, any last words from you?
Thank you very much, Gifta. We're so happy to have you. Thank you for giving us that plenty whole health thing because we all need it. Thank you, my host, for being an amazing host. And thank you, Transition to Tech, for bringing us with plenty juicy gist. And I know that next week we have another package for our audience. I can't wait to
Yeah.
see you guys. We've taken so much of your time, so we don't have anything to say right now than to say thank you for sticking with us, and we look forward to meeting you next week. So, from my end, it's bye.
From my end is bye also. Have a good evening, everyone. Enjoy your weekend. Bye.